Go. Hey, this is George.
Okay.
This is George for Title Inflation.us, where we're here with a gal that was royally screwed over by U.S. Bank. We're trying to put the details together. What's going on? Can you give us a basic background before you jump into this?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Okay. The background is that I had a house that was all bought and paid for. I got suckered into putting a loan onto my house, and I found out about a year and a half later that it was done under fraudulent, through the fraudulent appraisal. He lied to the lender about the condition of the house and the value. The broker knew about this, and Citywide Mortgage found out, so therefore they sold my loan to American Servicing Company. When they found out, they refused to cooperate to let me pay back the loan without the interest and the penalties, and therefore it led up to a foreclosure, and I was evicted from my own home during the lawsuit, and I'm homeless.
To cut this story short, they kind of ramrodded you into a loan, ran you through the process really quick, and before you knew it, you had the loan and you had the debt.
Yes.
Okay, and the process, in your point of view, even though they may have technically done it legally, you just feel like you didn't have enough time to make the proper decisions.
Well, they didn't let me. They took the paperwork away right away and didn't explain it and told me I was not obligated. If I signed it, she said that she'd go through everything with me. U.S. Bank, for some reason, it got sold at an auction for $97,000, right? U.S. Bank bought this back, or the bank bought it back. They used American Servicing Company as a trustee, U.S. Bank as a trustee for CSFB, which is Wells Fargo. And they led up to an eviction. They served me the paperwork that said Cesar Lopez. I didn't know there was an unlawful detainer on me, and the judge dismissed it. And then they served me again, and they said that I had a 3-day, 30-day notice to quit, all the way from a year ago. So they had improper service. It was improper service. So I made a deal with them in February. I said, look, I just want to catch up. I need the payoff amount. I had somebody writing them letters for me. They never gave me the payoff amount. And when I sent them the cashier's check of $2,000, because it was an agreement that I'd pay them $3,333 in 2 payments, which would be $1,500 a payment, right? So instead, I sent them $2,000. They sent it back to me and initiated foreclosure.
But you have some major questions because they're serving you with all this paperwork. It's very confusing. Now, did the sheriff come in and kick you out of the house yet?
Yeah, on a 2-day notice. They posted that they're supposed to give you 5 days. They posted on my door and only gave me 2 days. On the paperwork, it said I had 5 days, right? But they put it on my door on the 3rd day.
The banks are using they're leveraging tactics. They're coming at people that are ill-informed. They're breaking the rules. They're taking property from people, and they're just doing whatever they can to trick you, swindle you, defraud you.
Yep.
And their whole point is not to work with you. Their whole point is to just get you out on the street and take your home from you.
Yeah, guess what? They put my house on the market for $20,000, and even with the notice of a pendants on there, they sold it for $24,900. Well, I have 1 horse, I have 1 dog, and 1 child. And yes, I am homeless. And with my 2-year-old, my friend took me in. I'm staying at one place to another. It's basically called California couch sleeping, what they called it. So my friend took in my horse and my dog, and I get to stay here sometimes. But then in another week, I got to go stay with my friend, and sometimes we actually have to sleep in the car.
And we just got off the phone with a gal that is homeless now. The banks took her property, kicked her out on the street, and probably broke all sorts of rules. And now we're with another gentleman. And tell me what the update is on the real estate situation.
Well, basically, George, lenders are starting to come after people that they foreclosed on their homes. These people, taxpayers, have lost everything. They've lost their equity, they've lost their homes, and they have nothing. Now the big dog banks, to get the bailout, are coming after the people that they foreclosed against. Say that you lost your home, you're working 3 jobs, and all of a sudden your employer gets a notice that the bank is seizing your wages. You get a notice that the bank that foreclosed on you is tapping your bank account and putting liens on your cars. So it's like the big dogs get the bailout, and us taxpayers, we get no mercy.
So they're going after, they're not only foreclosing on you, they're going after your wages now. The banks are going after your assets. They're seizing assets. This is
Correct.
incredible. That's just amazing.
It's amazing, and you don't want to hear something really crazy. They have 20 years to collect. Like in Florida, mortgage holders have as long as 5 years to seek a deficiency judgment, and if granted, they have 20 years to collect. And then say they don't get paid off in 20 years, they have the option of renewing the judgment. It's insane, George. It is just insane. It's like our government is trying to put us all in debtor's prison, and they're accomplishing it.
Yeah, and when is enough is enough? I mean, these common Americans, not only should they walk away from these loans and walk away from these houses and try not to pay, they're cashing out their I'm hearing stories of bankers telling people to cash out their 401ks, cash out the IRAs, cash out their children's future so they can pay on these dead, upside-down mortgages. I don't understand that. Why? Isn't there any moral conscience at any of these banks at all?
No, none whatsoever, George.
It's like it's just like pure evil, pure evil.
The banksters run America. It's like the American mafia is running our government, the financial arm of it, and everybody's asleep at the wheel because we're so busy trying to put food on our table that we don't have time to pay attention.
So the American worker is just a host that all the parasites can suck off of.
The American taxpayer is being brutally raped.
Yeah, I guess
that's the criminal crime.
I guess they all want us not working on welfare, food stamps, and just part of the lower underclass totally dependent on government.
You're absolutely right. And they're accomplishing it big time. You've just seen this start, George.
And
it's going to make the news.
I got one more thing to add in addition to this shocking, news that the banks are getting that aggressive going after former homeowners. I'm hearing through my real estate contacts that the IRS is going after people they're going after, there's a taxable amount. If the banks take back your property and you're upside down and, you had a $200,000 loan, now the house is worth $100,000, they view that as a taxable gain of $100,000 to you, even though you've been foreclosed on and you don't own the home anymore?
That's absolutely correct. Traditionally, they haven't done that. What I'm seeing, George, is our government is trying to make us an army of slaves.